Okay, and we're live,
okay,
more or less. So, well, I guess thanks for being our second guest in our talk series.
Thank you for inviting.
Yeah, I think it's we don't even need to really explain who you are because everybody knows who you are anyway in Estonia. You're such a like
in the climbing circles.
In a climbing circles, yeah. So our second guest is Mikael, and he's the creator of whole Ronin, and by now creator of the third iteration of a bouldering wall in Estonia, in Tallinn, and that's why we wanted to talk a little bit to Mikael, because it's been a really long way from the first Ronin iteration to this new T1 wall.
What I want to call version 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. But actually as well, so this place opened, I guess, about several weeks ago, a month ago.
16th of September was the opening.
Yeah, and actually I've been here, and Mikael had a really interesting speech about the whole history and how this thing came to life. So I guess I really wanted to kind of record more or less the same thing with asking some of extra questions about this whole thing.
Yeah, well, but maybe if that's something that you would want to hear, and
yeah, I guess let's start with the very beginning, like the first Ronin. When was it built, and go on from there, and let's hear the whole kind of history of Ronin up to now.
Right. Yeah. I guess I mean, since I'm not from Estonia, so I would go even a little bit further back on kind of how the hell did I end up here?
Yes.
And then kind of how from there I got to the idea of establishing climbing gym. So originally I'm from Helsinki, so not that far, but my at birth my idea was not to move to Estonia, so that came later. I graduated from Technical University in 2000. Then I worked for 5 years for one of the big 5 consulting companies named Accenture. It's not known in Estonia because it doesn't have offices here. It has offices in, I think, 50 countries. And I worked as a strategy consultant, and actually my first touches professionally. I had been, of course, in the 90s with the ship over to Tallinn, but I didn't remember much of those visits. But my first professional touches to the Baltic countries were in Riga. We had quite a long project for Lattelecom, about a year long, and I was traveling back and forth, and it seemed like an interesting kind of market. But at that time, I thought that it's still like I'm going to pursue consulting career in Accenture forward, and then in 2004. So 5 years after my graduation, I thought that, okay, I'm going to actually move to Australia.
Okay.
I had done kind of long listing and short listing of countries.
Can we hear that? Can you hear us speak clearly, more or less? Okay. Yeah. Well, if you can hear us speak, it's okay, I guess.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So I had done kind of a long listing, a short listing of countries where I could work. At that time, way back when, I could speak
well, it's like a
German.
wide range of choices: Australia or Estonia.
Well, yes.
Very different.
And I got all the way to Singapore, which is like halfway. I was working there half a year, and with the intention of moving forward to Australia, and with no best before date. So in a way, same deal as I ended up kind of with in Tallinn. But then my ex-colleague from Accenture had established a consulting company in Tallinn, and they wanted to kind of expand it and invited me as a partner, one of the kind of founders of their market intelligence arm. And that sounded like a really interesting opportunity. And then instead of buying tickets to Australia, I bought them to Tallinn. And that's kind of the story how I ended up here. And that's what I've been doing for since 2005 until 2015. So that was my full day job. And I was kind of, we're getting closer to how then Ronmin comes to the picture. So I had started climbing in 2004, so just before my move, and really kind of got hooked immediately. I had tried it for kind of some training for adventure race in '98 already, but that was just a few times, and then there was no kind of intention of taking that as a sport. But then when in 2004 I tried it, it was the rest is history, so to say. And then in a way, ironically, I moved to Estonia after that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of climbing in here.
No.
At that time, especially.
Yeah, but what kept my climbing interest, well, actually, in the very beginning, I was playing floorball in the first division.
Have you played in Christina?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, yes.
Some of I was a defending player, and some of my most memorable tackles, although floorball is supposed to be a non-contact sport, are from Christina Sportihall.
Okay.
But in the very beginning, I didn't climb in Estonian because I didn't know how to say climbing in Estonian, so I couldn't Google for climbing. Then like maybe half a year later, I found out that Roniminen is climbing. Well, it's a lame excuse, but my kind of release was my weekly trips to Helsinki. So I climbed in Helsinki, and that remained for about until I'd say a year before establishing Ronimisministeerium. Kind of, I was thinking that someone's going to build a wall for me. There were talks. There
were always talks, but at that point, I guess there was only Christina and Lasnamäe was there already. But these are kind of well, Christina is it's a nice wall, but it's really, really old, and I guess it's really like for us, it was really good to climb there and a lot of fun. But getting new people to climb there was kind of hard with this wall.
Yeah, and so the only place to boulder was Christina as well.
Yeah,
and in the very beginning, I was not into bouldering. When things got to negative territory, then I thought that that's not for me. That it's just too demanding. But that's a little bit kind of sidetracking perhaps. Then for I think 6 years, I was climbing mainly in Lasnamäe kergejõustikihall, and I got to know this wall very well. Yeah. All the places where you can hold and
that's another thing about this wall. It has so many features, just like not as holds, but as just the shape of the wall.
Exactly.
And you can kind of learn everything.
Yes.
I guess you can almost climb it without holds at some point.
Yeah, when you have a 6 meter wide wall. Yeah. And then and you climb it for 6 years, you know it pretty damn well. And I kind of noticed that although I was frequently going to Helsinki, well, I was not developing, and actually my climbing motivation was gradually declining, and no one was building a wall, bouldering or climbing wall for me. There was like Sparta Sportiklubi was supposed to have one then they decided that no, actually we know this gym business better. We'll just expand our regular traditional gym. And then next year there was another idea, and then eventually I was like, I looked left and I looked right and center and saw no one. I thought that no one's going to build it, so I have to do it if I want. But at that time I was still full time as a partner in this consulting company, and I thought that okay, there's no way I'm going to have in a way two jobs. That I'll do it when I quit consulting. Well, eventually I still did it. Opened Ronin while I was full-time at Ascetic, and kind of had parallelly for 1 year, but I was rolling out of Ascetic, kind of you could say downshifting. From there, and then focusing more on Ronimisministeerium, and the first one was what is today FALE, and the unfortunate thing there was that after 5 years, the new owner, it was sold during our rental period. The new owner didn't want to expand our rental contract, so we had to demolish what I would say was a really well-working gym.
I mean, it was a beautiful wall. It was such a modern wall. I guess it was like the first modern kind of wall in Estonia.
Yeah.
I guess
There was
at that point there was nothing like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the closest one, if we exclude Finland, then was Roland's Falkors, which is not the Falkors of today.
It was another one.
Like, would it have been a squash field size or two squash fields?
Yeah, it was tiny.
Yeah,
it was tiny and
Yeah, it was really, I'd say, underground stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how kind of Ronimisministeerium came about, and initially I called it fruit of personal frustration, and I called it my Porsche because I thought that with the same money I could have bought a really nice Porsche, but then I thought Ronimisministeerium is much more fun, and I still think that way. I drive a car which has a C cassette player, so that tells about how kind of
I guess your attitude to building that wall.
Yeah. So.
But how long did it take you, like from when you had this plan, or when you made the decision that you're going to build the wall to the actual opening of the first Ronin?
Well, the biggest question always, I think, is space.
Like the venue.
Yeah. Finding you can have the team, you can have the want, and you can have the financial means. But if you don't have the space, you don't actually have really anything tangible.
Yeah.
You have a dream. But of course, when opportunity meets preparation, that's when magic happens. So then just browsing through City 24, and when I first visited this space, I thought that it has way too many pillars everywhere,
yes.
and that this is not the one. But then after playing around with an architect friend who was a climber as well, Kaur Talpsepp, we figured the layout that actually worked very well, and we utilized these pillars built around it, and that's how the cellulose or fale.
It was kind of interesting. Some of the pillars were kind of part of the wall and part of the roots.
Well, we built around the pillars, so they were great supporting structures, and but yeah, that's. But to answer your question, so I think it took maybe maybe less than a half a year from the firm decision that okay, let's do it, to actually having found a place. So that I'd say was quite quick, and quite quick compared to then the surge that was going on at the end of Fale gym, because we knew for 2 years actually that we're going to be kicked out. And today, if you look at what's there, it's 2 floors of office space. So for the owner, it was obviously Excel looked much greener with having 2 floors in the same space than a poor niche climbing club. So they didn't even offer to us a possibility to continue. But so what was the idea was, and I had scouted like roughly 10 different locations and entered into negotiations at Telliskivi and Noblessner and also at the very beginning of Maleva Tänav in Kopli about and drawn designs of what it could look, the version 2.0. But then all of these, mainly for the reason of the rental levels, they were abandoned or not in use factory buildings mainly. And the rental levels would have just been...
so I guess they require a lot of renovation as well. But
yes.
Do you think it's because it's Tallinn? Do you think it's... well, I guess you know, is it much easier to find it in Tartu, for example, or smaller places?
Well, if we look at Tartu, then there are now 2 rope climbing gyms coming up. And I think that's just a strike of luck.
Okay.
So when after Netsportihall news, where Ronimisministeerium is opening a bouldering and rope climbing wall at the end of this month, so when the news broke that Ronimis Tehas has also a site right next door of where their bouldering gym is. So it's I think almost like an asteroid striking twice in the same place. In the
so it's like as hard to find a place in Tartu, or to find something cheap enough for it to like work even in theory.
I mean if thinking of kind of what are the requirements, so you want to have it in a good location, right? You want to have minimum 10 meter ceiling height, free height. Now you want to have a long rental contract, because it's not just bringing in gym equipment and when the lease expires taking it out, but it's like a huge custom-made furniture construction project which is never going to be moved. It can be demolished but never moved.
So you never reused any of the like structures from previous walls?
Well, at the Hippodrome we tried, and we were out of the 300 and I think roughly 50 square meters. I don't remember the numbers anymore. Then some 40 square meters of plywood were possible to use. Okay. So a little over 10%. But the rest was so kind of cut in different shapes and forms that...
Yeah, I mean, to make the wall interesting, you have to make those crazy like kind of shapes and stuff, and it's hard to just reuse them.
Well, if generally, yes. Now, if you look at Hippodrome wall, then it's just a long, straight, curving thing, which I think we had a builder from St. Petersburg, and he just came in and looked at the space, and he was like, "Yeah, I think I know what we're going to do here."
Okay.
And I think, given that there's also a row of pillars and only 3.5 meters, so this works really well in Hippodrome. And having some shapes, it would have made it things very complicated. But if coming back to kind of what are the criteria, and then, like you said, you want to have low enough rental level. So when you try to get all of these in one, it's my experience has been that usually if you get a good location and then high ceiling, then at least when real estate development was hotter than it's now, then you wouldn't get a long rental contract, because the owner was already thinking of turning this building into X floors of commercial or apartment or whatnot space, and then we would have been offered like 3 years, which is not like I'm when I'm talking with possible landlords, I'm saying that our minimum is 10. If you can give us 15, that's.
Well, I mean, 3 years is so low. I mean, it's going to take you a while to build it and a while to disassemble it, and then it's pretty much going to be like a year of
yes.
For climbing, it's insane to search something for 3 years only.
Yeah. So that's a long answer to your question. That is it so hard? Yes, it is so hard, and I'm still in search. So if there would be suitable space in Tallinn, despite having opened this right now, then I would go forward. I think there is enough climbers and there's enough demand, and I have enough want. That would be still kind of one project that I would want to do.
Okay. Are you looking for kind of higher sport climbing wall venues in Tallinn as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And there are some prospects. I call to a few places every 6 months, asking that. So, how is it now?
Okay.
Are you moving forward? Okay. So do I give you a call back in a half a year?
So we moved in this kind of history. We moved to the Hippodrome Ronin, and
Hippodrome was in a way a desperate act. Because I was hoping that one of these Telliskivi or Noblessner or Maleva ones would move forward, and in a way, one after another, the possibility just didn't materialize. Mainly because of me, because I said that there's no point in building a climbing gym and then in 6 months to realize that I cannot pay the rent and be with a huge stack of plywood and in one hand and the foam in the other, and think that, okay, where do we now go with all of this stuff? So how I found Hippodrome location was that I organized a birthday party at the Kaberneeme RMK public fireplace, and I invited 500 of my Facebook friends, because 500 is the maximum limit Facebook allows you to invite, and then some 10% of them showed up, and one of them was the owner of the Hippodrome building, and he was like, "Mikael, I haven't been to your gym yet." And I was like, well, it's now February, our rental contract expires in April, so you have 2 months. And then he was like, oh really? I have this building in Hippodrome that I don't know, it's not much, but and I was like, all right, I'll go and take a look. The next day I went. It was a hellhole. It had burned down twice. So if many of you have been to Hippodrome, so if you looked at the horse barn that is next to us,
Yeah.
that's in much better shape.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. It looks like much more decent and like held than the
Yes.
previous Ronin
Yeah.
venue.
Yes, and there's actually a longer story written on our homepage under the About Us of all the construction stuff that was going on, but or all the events. But that was it was supposed to be in a way a pop-up gym for only, let's say, a year and a half, and because there was seemed to be a possibility of developing a new greenfield building in this Hippodrome grounds. But well, as you have seen, so construction hasn't moved at Hippodrome at all. We'll see if it starts this fall or whether it starts in years to come. Mm-hmm. And maybe actually one question that a lot of people have been asking is that so will, now that T1 is open, will Hippodrome then close?
Yeah, it actually was one of my questions as well.
Yeah, no, it will not. It's not a coincidence that T1 is on the other side of the town.
Okay, yes.
I would have had a kind of few locations for bouldering gym on Hippodrome side of the town, but because I believe that Hippodrome gym, I wouldn't be surprised if that was still there in year 2030. Because the possible development will start from Paldistimante side.
Okay,
and there's a lot of territory before then kind of it would become very interesting for the current owner to sell the current plot or develop. There's a in detail plan. One can build is it a 4-story apartment building on it. So on one day, no doubt, there will be something else. But I don't think it will be in next 3 years.
Okay. Yeah. So Hippodrome is there to stay for now.
Yeah.
One thing is actually during our previous talk, I said that my camera overheated and I needed to like reboot it. Actually, I Googled it and it was not because of overheating, but because it's a photo camera. And officially in Europe, if something films for more than half an hour, then it's considered a video camera and you have to pay more taxes. So it has like a limit of how long it can record, and it's half an hour.
Or hitting 28 minutes.
Okay, we're back.
All right, yes. Now we have, it's like a Zoom meeting. If you don't pay for the license, you have only 30 minutes, I think.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to build the T1? Was it easier to build this wall than the previous walls? I mean, do you have like loads of experience now? Do you think it takes you less time?
Well, they say that experience is what you get if you don't get what you want. Right?
Yeah.
but well, I think I have gotten what I want in here. But if coming to your kind of question, then the idea was to build or open the gym already in early spring, and we signed the rental contract. We started negotiating in the fall. We signed, was it in December or I don't remember anymore, but there seemed like there would have been a possibility to open in March, given earlier experience. But this is the first place where it was not that the landlords just after signing dropped the keys and said that, okay, we'll be sending you invoices, have a nice life. Quite the contrary, because this is classified as a shopping mall where people gather it has very strict fire safety
Okay.
regulations. So everything here has to go by the book, and there's quite as it's a big project. Lindgren, which is the owner of this building, is going to spend 20 million euros into renovating all of this, turning the third floor into up to 20 sports clubs. So what we see here on the floor now, I think we have something like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So it's
well, you can see that there's not much. Most of the space is still kind of being renovated.
On that side, it's all just empty construction space in a way. They have ripped out everything, all the toilets and so on. So much stuff has, unfortunately, that is only like 4 years old.
Yeah.
Has been ripped and boom into the dumpster. But yeah, that's what happens when you kind of draw with the big pencil and drop 20 million on the end of the line. So yeah, but yeah, it has been a more difficult process. We, for example, all of the plywood here, we have impregnated it 3 times in a liquid that makes it fireproof.
Okay.
And all of the other this wood material as well. This metal beams that carry the second floor, some of them have been painted 7 times to reach this paint thickness that is required. We have extra wide sprinkler pipes because we have so much burning material. We calculated that how many kind of megajoules of energy if you torched this place would be released, and well, we still have the inspection coming up, so I'm not worried that we wouldn't pass, but kind of it has been a more difficult and lengthy build than the previous ones.
Okay. I actually didn't realize it was like this at all.
Yeah, but I have to say that also kind of the support that we have gotten from T1, from the main constructor and their subcontractors, has been just like I've been like, because earlier at Hippodrome I was battling with the army of drunks.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's a night and day in that respect.
But I was always also wondering, because if you go to Helsinki, it's like so close, but there are so many walls in there. And I mean, okay, there are more people there and there are more climbers, and it has natural walls as well, so it motivates people. But they've got so many absolutely massive walls in there, even in Helsinki. How is that possible? How is it so much easier to do it there?
Where I got, let's say, the certainty, you could call it courage, to go forward with the first gym. Although I was living in a flat country with practically 0 outdoor climbing possibilities. So that was because I saw that climbing was growing practically everywhere else. Also in Netherlands, which is not the climbing mecca of world or Europe or so on. And so I think climbing in general is growing. There's no question about that. Now in Finland, then they started 15 years earlier. Yeah, something like that. I mean, probably 20 years earlier than us here in Estonia, because in '98, when I said I was going to this train for climbing, then it was Henrik Suihkonen, whose gym I went to, and who is the founder of Kiipeily Arena, and so he has been on this long path from now I guess then 30 years, not quite, but for a long time. So Finland is just ahead of us. I think also they have had, if we talk about Helsinki, they have had 2 entrepreneurs who have done a good job, and then climbing community has grown. So besides Henkka, there has been Jarmo, who established Boulder Keskus, and then the positive spiral. Now in Tallinn, what has happened is kivi climbing has doubled the number of climbers in Tallinn.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that T1 will now again help in doubling the number.
Yeah.
And
well, I guess for a long time it was a problem, not that there aren't enough people to climb, but there wasn't anywhere to fit all those people, anywhere to climb, and it was really hard to like get new people.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Hippodrome location, so it's kind of underground stuff, and now.
By the end of it, it's still. At first, it looked quite underground. By now, it looks actually like a really proper gym.
Yeah.
I guess
the gym. But if you look at the location,
yeah, the location is weird.
Yes,
for sure.
It's like being in the countryside in middle of the city, and when you get there, it's like if you come during the winter, then I'm not surprised that some people are feeling like right now I'm entering the axe murderer alley from the Chainsaw Massacre road, and that I wonder if this is really the right place, but well, now it's also I think what has happened in Finland, so that the first caves, bouldering caves, they were in random bomb shelters, like 50 meters underground, and now they are in shopping malls, and they have grown in size hugely. So I think I think we will see similar development in Estonia. So T1 will not be the last bouldering gym or climbing gym in Tallinn.
So I guess one of my last questions is what are your plans for the future of Ronmin?
To take a day off. My last full day off was in July.
Okay, yeah.
And my well, before I can take a day off, I guess I will go and open up at Tartu Netspordihall, Ronimisministeerium, and then I will be able to also climb again, because I have climbed here at T1 once. That was for about an hour during the opening competition, because I've been thinking that if I have still, although this starts to look pretty nice, I still have like this long to-do list that I need to get or I want to get sorted before I move to Tartu. I have an apartment in Tartu rented out, and so I will stay there as long as it takes, and yeah, if I, instead of construction, I climb, it's not gonna make my to-do list shorter. So Tartu is my next to do or plan.
How far along is it? When are you? Well, you think it's
gonna open during October for sure.
Okay.
They are hoping that they will get the wall building ready by the 12th, so which is next week.
Okay.
Then comes route setting, and yeah. it's very soon. After Tartu, my plan is to take a vacation.
Okay, so no new walls planned after that.
No, that's not the case. Yes, there are. I just need the location, and I'll build a rope climbing wall in Tallinn right away.
Okay. Well, I'm certainly hoping it's going to happen.
A lot of people are.
I guess Tallinn really needs a new sport climbing wall.
Yeah. Yes. No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as said, there are some prospects. We'll just have to be patient. I think, well, of course, someone else can find it as well and build it. Doesn't have to be Ronimisministeerium. And but if it happens to be Ronimisministeerium, then I think that would probably be, I would guess at the moment, I'm thinking that the rope climbing wall, that would be something that then I could say that, right, I'm done. That my mission is complete in the world of Estonian climbing in terms of building gyms. But never say never. So
Oh, we'll see.
yeah, I've so far I've built now 4 gyms. So hopefully there will be a 5th and who knows.
Yeah. Well, I hope so as well. Well, thanks for speaking for our talk this time. It was actually pretty interesting. I kind of knew the whole history of Ronin, but I was always wondering like all those details of how is it to find like a venue and what other problems are there. I guess I was in the university when the first wall opened, and when I was leaving, there was only Christine and Lasteman, and when I came back, there was Ronimisministeerium, which suddenly looked like a really new, nice, modern wall in Tallinn.
Yeah.
So I remember I was really happy about that. It was kind of a little shock to me when I came back.
Yeah, positive one.
Yeah, a really positive one.
Yes. Yeah, I think thank you again for inviting. I think that we could easily have another chat later down the line. I kind of went thinking of what could be the topics. Then I think that we scratched one out of the 5 perhaps that I thought we could talk about.
Yeah. Okay. Well. I hope we will talk again, when some of the new walls will open. And, I'm looking forward to that.
All right.
Yeah.
Boom.
Thank you.